I'm Lori Benson, Payroll Administrator for SICK Inc. Today, we're going to walk through the time and attendance system that you'll be accessing through ADP to record your time.
There is an attachment for this module that you'll want to print. You can use it to follow along with the training today or for future reference. To begin with, you will need to access ADP. And the easiest way to do so is through the SICK intranet site. So if you go to the SICK intranet, and on the left-hand side is ADP. You will then sign in using your username and password. Once you're in the software, you'll want to look towards the top at the menu bar. You'll see Home, Resources, and Myself, and you'll want to select Myself. This is also where you would request your time off or review your payroll pay statements. Today we're going to go to Time and Attendance and My Time Card. Once you are in My Time Card, the first thing you're going to want to review is which pay period you are on. So it says current pay period. And then you'll want to review the dates. Are these the dates that you want to do your entry for? You can use this option here to go back to a previous pay period to see what was entered for a prior day. Or based on the payroll status, you might need to go to the next pay period at that time. So please just check your dates, make sure they're correct, and you're on the day you need to be when you enter your hours. The next step is you're going to want to double check to make sure that any requested time off is pulled into your time cards. So you'll see in the sample that for Friday there's 4 hours of PTO requested, and for Monday there's been 8 hours of PTO requested. This is a nice added feature that these automatically populate from the time off module when you request your time off. So you will not have to complete it on your time card. Once you confirm that, you are now ready to enter your hours. So we'll just use Monday for an example. And for Monday, I started at 8 a.m. And the key is you have to enter an A for AM or a P for PM. And the next piece is you will also have to log your time out for lunch. So every day we'll have 2 entries if you take a lunch. So in this case, we're going to go to lunch at 12 o'clock. And I'm going to do my P for PM. So if you'll notice, it gives me just the 4 hours, and I need to add the rest of my day after lunch. So what you want to do then is click this box to the left of the day, and it will give you an option to copy row. So select copy row, it will come up with the same dates, and it will fill in the same times as you had above, and then you can easily just change this. So I got back from lunch at 12:30. P again for PM, and I left for the day at 4:30 p.m. And it's as simple as that. And you'll notice you have your 4 hours for each of those time periods equaling your 8 hours for the day. This pay code field, you probably noticed it popped up. This field will only be used by your managers to add in last minute time off that was not requested by you through the time off module. All your time off requests should still be done through the time off module and not manually entered on your time card. Here you have department. The home department for you will default, and you should not change this unless instructed to do so by your manager. The sales order number field and labor code should only be used if your position requires this tracking. If you are unsure if this pertains to you, please check with your manager. If you need to use these fields, you want to click in the middle of the box, and then you'll want to select the magnifier on the right. This will provide you the full list of sales order numbers available for selection. You can scroll up and down on the right to get to whatever one you need. And then if you hover over the description, you'll see the full description. So right here the description is limited, but as I hover over it, you see FedEx Bridgeport PA Travel. And then this next one is FedEx Bridgeport PA Labor. So you want to pick your correct one if it's for travel or for labor for those particular hours entered. and then make sure you select the actual ID number. It will not populate if you select the description. Then you need to go to the labor code field, and it will automatically default to the one associated with that sales order number. You just have to select it. And with any entries that you do, being the sales order number, the labor code, or your in and out times, the most important piece is you have to make sure you do a save. If you do not save it and go out, your entries will not be retained. So please make sure you do a save for any entries you do. If you scroll over to the right, depending upon your screen size, you'll see totals for regular and overtime. You will also see weekly totals. And if you'll notice, there are 2 weeks worth of time here, and that's because our pay cycles are for 2 weeks. You will now fully complete your time for 2 full weeks before doing a final approval. Once you've completed the full 2 weeks, on that final Friday or Saturday, depending if you're working the weekend, you want to also, after you do save, approve the time card. It's very important that you approve your time card, which then tells your manager or supervisor your time card is now complete, and they can review and approve it, as they will need to review and approve it as well. If you'll notice up on our entries here, you'll see this little highlighted asterisk, which is supervisor approval required. Anytime you see one of these, if it's yellow or red, if you hover over it, it will give you a description of what the error is. In this case, a yellow is a warning, and a red is an error that has to be corrected. So in this case, it's just looking for your supervisor approval, so you don't need to do anything with this. So once you've got everything completed and approved, you do have the option to print your time card, which you can do at any point in time as well. So if you notice this time card box right here, and if you click in the middle of this box, you'll have the option to print time card. It will then come up with a summary of everything you have entered, and you can print it. This will also supply any totals for the time period at the end of the report. So the important pieces are to make sure that you record your in and out times every day, to make sure you're current and up to date in case you're unexpectedly out. Your manager will have a limited amount of days they will need to complete for you. Then also always remember to save, and at the end of the pay cycle, approve your time card. There are these optional tabs here that you can review as well. There is the totals tab, which will just give you a total of your hours that you've entered, and the time off balances will actually display what your time off balances are from the time off module. These other 2 tabs will not apply. The schedule and supplemental pay codes, they can be ignored. Also remember, if the sales order number and labor code tracking does not pertain to you, these also can be ignored. If you need assistance, please follow up with your manager, and they can help with anything you need as far as time entry. In order to sign out of the system, all you need to do is go up to the top right, and there's this arrow, and select Log Out. Thank you for your time today.